Hello YouTube, my name is Archer for the Lord, and I wanted to go over a chess game with you today. This is one of my favorite chess games, and I found it amazing that this game is actually already on YouTube several times, but no one's gone over an analysis, and it's an older game, but I think it's very beautiful. This game is called the Evergreen game. It was played between Adolf Anderssen and Jean de France around 1852. So it's a very beautiful game, and we're going to see what we can learn from it today. Anderssen was playing the white pieces, and he began with e4. De France replied e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, which is the Italian game, bishop c5, and now a move that was characteristic of the 1800 time period, b4. b4 you may have seen before. It's called the Evans Gambit. The point of doing this move is to try to deflect the bishop from the protection of this d4 square. The reason why we want to do that is because white intends to quickly get in c3 and d4 and then attack the center. In this time period, it was considered ungentlemanly not to accept a sacrifice. So of course we see here de France accepting with bishop takes b4, c3, bishop a5, and now white gets in this move, d4. Black accepts again with e takes d4, and now white, having already committed one pawn, decides to invest another into the position by simply playing castle kingside. Black's response is a bit unusual. Now black does not want to allow white to play c takes d4, creating a large center. And the thought behind this move, d3, is that he also does not want to allow the knight ever to get to c3. c3 is undoubtedly going to be the knight's strongest square, and by not capturing the c-pawn now blocks white's normal development. The drawback of this move is that it does nothing for black's development at the time. Black still needs a few moves before he can castle. The light square bishop is not coming out anytime soon. And overall, d3 must be regarded as an inaccuracy. White responds classically by attacking with queen b3. We see the f7 square now coming under fire, so black must protect it. Queen f6, e5, queen g6. Now if we go back one move, we may say, okay, e5, why can't black just recapture with knight takes e5? Even after rook e1, doesn't black have d6 protecting the knight? That's true, but white would then win a piece on the other wing with queen b5 check. After c6, white simply takes the bishop for free. Queen takes a5, and white is better. So after queen g6, rook e1 was played. Black continues developing with knight e7. White continues with bishop a6. And now black makes another move which is a little inaccurate. Black is concerned about this dark squared bishop. He doesn't want to play b6 because then this traps in the a5 bishop. It's pretty much going to be consigned to this square for the rest of the game. So instead of b6, you also notice he doesn't want to play d6, even though with computer analysis this is probably the best move, because it would isolate a pawn after d6, pawn takes d6, pawn takes d6. Now you have double isolated pawns in the d file, and this maybe was something black wanted to avoid, although the bishop has to get out. So instead, black responded by sacrificing a pawn of his own, b5. Now, queen takes b5 was played, rook b8 was played, queen a4, and now black gets his bishop exactly where he wants it, with bishop b6. White continues to develop with knight bd2, bishop d7, and knight e4. And now, here, black should undoubtedly castle. There's nothing preventing him from playing castle kingside, and it's almost inexplicable about the move that he makes next, because it eventually, this not castling is eventually what leads to black's downfall. Black played queen f5, and it's hard to find a reason to play this move. Perhaps black was intending knight to g6, but even after this move, he's no longer able to castle again, and his position ends up being worse. So, after white replies bishop takes d3, black has to respond with queen h5, getting out of the line of fire. Here, Anderson misses a very strong move in rook ad1. And why is this move so strong? Well, the threat is to play knight to g3, and all of a sudden, black's queen is running out of squares very quickly. So let's say, knowing this, black plays queen h6, then follow bishop c1, queen g6, and of course it's on the bishop's diagonal again, queen e6, and white's attack becomes irresistible. Knight g to e5, queen to d5, bishop c4, and if the queen doesn't sacrifice itself to take off some of this pressure, we could see something like queen c5, bishop takes f7, king f8, and now queen f4. Of course, threatening a mating attack by moving the bishop and then mating with the queen on f7. But we didn't see that. White instead plays another move which also exploits the position of the white king in the center. Knight f6. First look, this is simply sacrificing the knight. But after g takes f6, e takes f6, this knight on e7 is pinned, and it's not going anywhere. The drawback of this move is that now black has rook g8, attacking on the g file. Here we can see, oops, where's my pointer of rook? Here we can see that the threat is going to be queen takes f3 with a mating attack on g2. White, however, ignores this threat and plays a move which actually sets up a mating threat of his own, although it's very difficult to see. I wonder, I'd give you a couple seconds, but I know many of you have already seen this game, but I'll give you about 3 seconds to see if you can spot it. Alright, the move was rook ad1. And of course this looks silly because it does nothing to protect the knight, and black can just play queen f3. However, queen f3 is actually a terrible blunder. Black's strongest move was perhaps queen h3. The reason why this was even better is because it protects this d7 pawn, which we'll see ends up becoming a focal point of white's efforts. So queen takes f3, and now rook takes e7 check. So black's king could simply play king d8, but then white would continue to sacrifice. King c8, rook d8, and no matter if black captures with knight takes d8, then we'd see a queen sacrifice, queen d7, king takes d7, bishop f5, double check, and no matter where black moves, it's mate next move. King e8, bishop b7 mate. So if instead instead of this line, black decided to play knight takes e7. Sorry, knight takes e7. There followed another beautiful sacrifice. Queen takes d7. Now we see why it was so important for the black queen to have been on h3. Then it could have simply recaptured here, foiling the entire plot. But as it is, black must accept this queen, otherwise king to f8, and bishop takes e8, or bishop takes e7 will be made. So king takes d7, bishop f5, the same double check. Notice that the bishop and the rook are both attacked by the black queen, but it can't take either of them because the other piece is still attacking. So double check is terribly strong. King c6 trying to run away. It's mate in 1. Bishop b7. And king e8, which is what was played in the game. White has a mate in 2. And it goes bishop b7 check, king f8, bishop takes e7 mate. So just a beautiful game by Adolf Anderssen. This is one of the games that personally, when I saw it, it got me really interested in chess, and I thought, to give away so much of your power, so many of your pieces, just to get this attack at the white king. Basically, if you think about it, from move 19, when black plays queen takes f3, it's mate in 1 for the entire duration of the combination, and it's just so beautiful that that Anderssen was able to find this combination. So I hope you got something out of this. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.